everyone, Simple Child's Play here, otherwise known as PastaMom. Kinda prefer being called PastaMom. I asked you guys on DeviantArt to send me some original characters of yours so that I may review them. I was happy with the wonderful responses I got, and unfortunately couldn't feature everyone in this video. So I decided I'd make a part 2. So if you don't see yours here, don't worry. Now, let's begin, shall we? First here we have White Flame's character, Elizabeth the Dollmaker. We'll start with the design. I really like the color palette that you chose. Actually, the green eyes and brown hair, as well as her fair tone, go great together and don't clash, aside from one thing, which I think would be the shorts. I would suggest that you make them a bit darker. I love the button eye concept though, and I think it on its own is kinda creepy. Coraline, you broke my tiny baby brain. I like that you drew her weapon of choice and something dearest to her weapon being the small knife and her beloved item being the locket. I see some people in there too. The only thing that I'd say to work on here is anatomy. Of course, you continue to draw freehand, then you just get better. So I suggest just looking up some references and practicing often. Hands are the bane of almost every artist's existence. It's okay. I still can't even draw hands properly. Let's move over to the bios, and for the sake of this video, I will only be reading from real name to theme song, but I have read everything off camera, so don't worry if it doesn't show here. Real name, Elizabeth Annie Lightman. Alias, Elizabeth the Dollmaker, not related to Vine the Dollmaker, meaning to name she has made a doll when she was 15 that she considered to be her only friend because she was a lonely, sad little lump before becoming the sadist we all know and love. I hope you guys could understand that. Nicknames, Lizzie, Liz Chan, and Little Dollmaker. Age 17. Date of birth, April 5th, 1998. Birthplace, Columbus, Ohio. Language, can speak a little English and small bit of Spanish from a class she used to take in high school. Voice, kinda a little like a normal girl's, but slightly a little deeper and more raspy. Current residence, she lives in the dark alleyways of downtown Columbus and sometimes in the residence of her victims, once she's killed them. Yeah, she claims. Gender, female, species/race, human with a pinch of cosmic, being, thus explaining how her doll comes to life. Status, alive, frequently injured, but alive. Alias, Timber and August the Killer dolls, Pretty, Catherine, and Rage. Occupations, makes felt dolls and watches movies, singing, and playing guitar. Weapons, a small knife that's strapped to her thigh, either a small white box or a large blood-stained basket. Method of killing, she sneaks into the victim's home, singing her lullabies. Once upon awakening, she pounces on her victim, pulling out her knife and stabbing it through their cheeks, giving them a chiseled smile in one swipe. She then uses her knife to bruise and cut the victim's arms and legs, making the poor innocent person unable to move without them bleeding out to death. She pins them down with her knee on their arms and threads a needle while determining to see which buttons would fit over their eyes. She sews a button into one socket, covering their mouth once able to stitch with one hand, and continues to use the same thread to stitch their mouth together. Threading a new needle now, the victim is moaning and crying, desperate for the pain to end. She reassures them, as if rewarding them with death once she is done with giving them agonizing pain and misery. Sorry for pausing so much. I just have to catch my breath, and I have to actually let my brain process what I'm reading, because I'm going pretty fast, at least for me. She finally stitches the other button in their eye and quickly slits their throat, watching the blood spill out. She stitches the neck back together and cleans up the scene by burning off the bloody sheets and using the victim's resting place/bathroom to clean the blood off herself. Goals/reasons to kill. All her life she was abused, and her mother was killed by a drunk driver. She wants to avenge herself and her mother by killing all the terrible people in the world. Little does she know that she's killed as many innocent as well as monsters in the Columbus buildings. In avenging her mother and speaking out in her own way, Elizabeth is like a scary story told to children. One wrong mistake and you'll suffer severe consequences, ones that involve death as a luxury. Phrase, looks like you're sewn up into a problem. Theme song, an old lullaby she would sing before she was killed. Button eyes, stitched smiles and white lies. Button eyes, never saying goodbye. Bloody thread, sew up your very end. Bloody thread, one wrong move and you're dead. Now, I would like to say that I love how you kind of point out and show that she isn't like completely and utterly OP, like pretty much overpowered. She is frequently injured, which shows that she still has clear signs of humanity and she still takes damage. So she is able to lose her life, but she's skilled enough to get by things. So it's nice to see that you don't try to overpower um, other people. I like that you added also so much description to the character. Really loving the method of killing that was given. Her goals and reasons to kill was also very well, showing that she doesn't know exactly who's innocent and who's the monsters. That she herself is killing recklessly and resulting in innocent people being butchered for no apparent reason. It kind of shows a bit of sloppiness and humanity in her. It's quite nice, actually. Now, after I read all of it, the only thing that I would say that I had a problem with was here in the stats. Because I read the entire thing, and over here in disorders, it says that she has schizophrenia, and obviously she's insane. Uh, I would think her tolerance would probably be a little bit lower, simply because people usually with disorders have a low tolerance and get angry faster. I can speak a little bit on experience. Not that I have like schizophrenia or anything, uh, but having disorders myself. That's all I'd really have to say about it. Everything is pretty great here, actually. You even got accessories down, outfit, body type. Oh, the weight. I would think she's a bit heavier for her height, that's all. Especially since she's around and, you know, eating frequently from anywhere that she's murdered. I know that she'd be skinny, but 125 is well in the starving range for her height. Well, if not starving, kinda twiggish. Next we have is the Poacher, submitted by Dark Magic. Now I have to say that I personally prefer hand-drawn OCs, but I understand that some people can't or rather don't want to. I would love to see some of your hand-drawn work though. Maybe even this character. Now so far what I get is this person is somewhat of a hunter. The hints being the bow and arrow and what I know should be a hunting knife. I feel like the color choice was great. The colors complement each other well and make me think of a stealthy person. Nice touch with the wound on their cheek too. Let's move on to the bio. I'll be reading up to their battle song. Basic info. Full name Valorum Wumpkin. I'm sorry if I kind of butchered that. Meaning of the name, she has no idea. Nickname Val, the Huntress Vixen, Slenderman's proxy. Creepypasta name, The Poacher. How did they get that name and why? She hunts and skins humans, eating them as well. Oh, I knew it! I knew she had some aspect of hunting. That's awesome. Gender, female, age 17, date of birth 9993. Place of birth, Wimboe, Africa. Sorry if I butchered that again. Race slash species, I think human. Kinda. Native language, Swahili? Swahili. Wahili. I'm gonna assume that S is probably silent. Sorry about that. Language spoken English, Swahilian, and some African language. Wahilian. Swahilian. Bahilian. Sorry. Orientation slash sexual preference has none. Zodiac sign Virgo, I believe. Religion African tribal. Occupation before becoming a pasta a normal child. Are they dead? No, not yet. Medical info blood type AB positive. Mental disorder possibly S. I almost said asparagus. Medical info blood type AB positive. Mental disorders possibly Asperger's or just raised by wolves. Phobias fire. Allergies none. Habits skinning and eating humans. Power slash special abilities. Increased strength and agility. Heightened senses and instincts of a wolf. Appearance. Height 5'8", weight 124 pounds. Here again with the weight, she's even taller than the last one. This would suggest that she's anorexic. And assuming that she lives with the pasta and she clearly is a stealthy and well kept person, or I would assume that she'd be a little heavier. Just, some advice. I know that it's hard to usually catch the weight height ratio and stuff, but it's just something I'd suggest. You could search up even the healthy weight for the height if you decide to. It helps really a lot. I usually do it for some of my OCs, although I don't write their weight usually online. It's somewhat of a thing that I just know. Anyways, continuing. Hair color, brown. Hairstyle, dreads. Eye color, light blue. Piercings, one on her right ear. Tattoos, no. Scars slash weird markings, scars on her cheek and back. Birthmarks, none. Skin, brown. Clothing slash style, camel green tank top, brown neckerchief, or I would say handkerchief. Those things to put around your neck though. Khaki shorts and taped feet. Ooh, taped feet. That's probably to help her with stealthy stealth. Jewelry slash accessories. 2 necklaces made of bones. Scent. Smells like a wolf. I wonder what a wolf smells like. Weapons. Bow and arrow and 2 machetes. Physical disorder slash disabilities. None. Never seen without her machete. Other. Has a human skin trophy. Overall, vicious and cunning. Acts like a lone wolf. Likes Slenderman and the forest. Dislikes Jeff the Killer. Shocker! Hobbies: hunting humans, male or female. Most prized possession: her machete. Flaws: waits to strike, may think too much on the kill. Pet peeves: Maskey's bitching. Worst ways to die: she does not fear dying. Best ways to die: like a warrior. Worst ways to kill: sloppily. Best ways to kill: how they kill. Setting up traps and ambushes. Targets to killing: poachers, anyone in her way, and someone strong. Others: anyone that Slenderman desires. Mottos: you're next, make it a good hunt. Crush slash greatest love: she has none. Love songs: you can feel the love tonight. Theme song: Blood Diamonds, Solemn Bandy, James Newton Howard. Howard. Sorry about that. Battle song: This Is War by Nickelback. Now, that's all I'm gonna read, but the rest will be featured on the page, of course. There is more, and I actually really enjoy this bio. Got their favorites down to their abilities, and they aren't overpowered or trying to dominate over anyone else. They have their own way of doing things and are content with it, although it may sometimes not be the best method. It shows that she isn't perfect and doesn't make mistakes in her line of work. It's great to have your flaws in your character. It will likely help her development and mold your character in whether you want to use her in a role play or in a story. Sorry about that. You did a pretty good job with this one, actually. I have no real complaints besides on the weight part. Here we have Jinx by Zayaba. The artist for this piece is actually someone else, someone called Miku Papercraft. I honestly love the design of this character, and I'm a huge fan of the 4 eyes. The anatomy is pretty much spot on, and the shine, shade, and coloring is fantastic. I love how the artist drew the tail around her leg as well. The detail added gives the piece an amazing feel. Now, we'll be going on to the description of the character. Named Jinx, nicknamed, people know her as Daughter of Baal, Belle's right hand, and Insane Demon. Sorry if I'm butchering Bile or Bale, I don't know exactly what you mean by that. Real name, unknown. She changes it every 10 years. Age, 555 years old. Race, demon. Demon type, wrath demon, but she has a little less demon blood from her great-grandmother. Eye color, black. Fully black. Outfit, she has cyborg goth type clothing, I suppose. Hair color, red and black, but she wears cyberlocks, kind of like wigs for cyber goths. I've never actually heard of that, sorry. Date of birth, well, her human mother found her in 1622, January 23rd, but her demonic soul lived before that, so it's still unknown. Place of birth, France, in Paris, where she lives now, Colorado, Denver. Height, 169 centimeters, otherwise known as 6'2". Weight, 56 kilograms, also known as around 123 pounds, I believe, and that's pretty light considering her height. She's around 6'2". I mean, I think she would be a little bit heavier than that. That goes again to the height-weight ratio. But I think I've spoken enough about that in this video. Spoken languages, French and English. Special powers, shadow manipulation. She can form her shadows or make them disappear, illusion magic. She can make people hallucinate stuff like their lost lovers or parents. Wheel of Fortune. She is able to read into people and know their futures just by looking into their eyes. She is addicted to some drugs, but most have no effect on her. Mental problems. She is afraid of darkness. Plus, by being a demon being, she has heliophobia, which is someone afraid of the sun. She is insane. Every dangerous thing is a new fun for her. Something happened to her in the past that we'd like to forget much about, but every time she sees a mother with her child, she can't stop herself but to kill them. Will be explained in the back. Personality. She often talks a lot and it makes her a bit annoying. Murderous and charming but serious when she needs to be. She talks to herself a lot. Tries to stay away from mirrors, but it's kinda like her, especially when she needs to take on her cyberlocks. I think she meant, but she kinda has to when she has to put on her cyberlocks. When she shuts up, you should run. Likes goth fashion, coke, sugar and sweets, smoking when nobody can see her, drugs, and other types of alcohol. Dislikes getting summoned, being in hell when she's talking to Baal. Baal, he's kind of serious, maybe sometimes too serious. talking about her past. Weaknesses dragging her into church. Her real age will show and she'll turn into a bunch of bones. Ripping off her head. She needs to heal and it takes a long time, like hours. Locking her into some place with a sunlight. Well, with sunlight. Even though the sun's not really doesn't really kill her, she still doesn't like it. Stabbing her with acid. Acid is something to affect her. I'm assuming you mean like an acid blade that can somehow be formed. Angels, of course, they're her enemy. Backstory, working on it. Relationships taken to Rain and Emil by other person. There is a little bit that needs to be edited there. Some of that didn't really make much sense, of course, but you did say that it was just an old working that still needed to be edited. It still needs a little bit of updates, although I feel like you did really good with the description. You gave her great weaknesses. I can kind of see in her design that she'd be a talkative character. She looks like the type that'd be like, oh hey, like totally going to raves or something, and like doing something crazy. She looks like the type that would pretty much spook the heck out of people and looks like an OP person. Most people will probably scream while just seeing her on the street, but she could probably pass off for a great cosplay. And we'll move on to the last one. Now, the last one had no actual photo to go by, so I'll just be reading, and I decided to take it upon myself to go ahead and draw something for this. I decided to draw pretty much what I think their character would look like, and of course my style. I'll be reading while the speed paint shows up on the screen. So, I hope you guys enjoy. Now this was submitted by Amy Chan. Full name, Lilith. Nickname, Lily. Birth date, 5/18, no year date. Birthplace, Zalgos Castle. Currently living wherever. Current age, 22. Hair color, gray. Eye color, red irises with black surroundings. Skin color, pale. Height, 5'5". Weight, 145 pounds. Now here, I love how you got the weight pretty much on target. You got it great with her height. This is someone who clearly understands the height to weight ratio. Not that it's bad that you guys don't understand it, because I know not everybody knows about it. And most people often think that the taller you are, the skinnier you'd actually be. It's kind of weirdly. Even though it packs on more weight with more height. Species/bloodline, shapeshifter, sexual orientation, straight, parents, Zolgo, siblings, none applicable. Other family, Slenderman, friends, Jeff the Killer and Laughing Jack, occupation, not applicable, bleh, or none at all, whatever. Personality, calm but touchy, power/ability, shape-shifting, shadow magic, favorite colors, blue, purple, and red. I tried to feature that also in the speed paint, some of her favorite colors, and also made the background pretty basic. I wanted to focus more on her rather than what her background room would look like, because I'm unsure. She lives wherever, after all. Lily, or as she is called, Lilith, was born of Zalgo. He treated her as any other of his creations, though he had chosen her to take her body whenever he needed to. She ran away when she was 15 years old, to which Slenderman had found her. She had warned him of Zalgo's plans of war on the human realm. Slenderman took her as one of his own. Lily, or as she is called, Lilith, was born of Zalgo. He treated her as any other of his creations, though, but he had chose to take her body when he needed to. She ran away when she was 15 years old, to which Slenderman had found her. She had warned him of Zalgo's plans of war on the human realm. Slender took her in as one of his workers. Through the years, she met up with the others, such as the proxies and the newcomers. She quickly befriended Jeff when he first arrived, though she just followed him around all over the place, stalking him, really. Laughing Jack walked in on the picture when she wandered into one of his carnivals one night. Lily was always ready to fight, even though she's not very strong at close combat. If she has to, she will defend those that are her friends and sometimes those that she hates. She constantly looks for loopholes to get out of the binding circle located in her stomach. The circle will allow Zolko to take control of her mind and body when and if he happens to die. I assume you mean if he takes on a human form and happens to die. I would assume that when he's in the human realm, he's weaker than his actual form, simply because he's not able to conjure up his entire power until the time of war comes, which I assume would be when his workers or minions get him enough souls collected. You know, just a little fan-created scenario in my mind. Slender has placed a mark on her right shoulder in hopes that that would somehow help. One way she would try to fight the circle's power is by doing whatever the job Slender gives her, and when she can, though the circle burns her any time she tries. Lily's powers are somewhat unique. She harvests the souls of the damned. Depending on the type of soul, she either consumes it or keeps it to use to extend of her power. Like a weapon. If the soul is of a killer or of someone with power, she'll tend to keep it as a specter. The soul is often innocent, someone who was not fated to die. She will consume it. She can also manipulate the shadows to her will. I really, really, really love this description. It somewhat of shows her weaknesses and strengths, and shows that she does have a mark and a place within a pretty much bigger thing. I really loved everything that she did here, and I decided that I wanted to draw a concept of her because, you know, pretty freaking awesome. I gave her a necklace with some flowers in it, and those flowers are actually, I believe, some strong flowers to ward off demons, I believe. Can't remember what type it was, but I searched it up just for this speed paint. You probably see me looking at flowers on it. Well, that's all for now. Wait for part 2 to see any more. Of course, there are plenty that I really, really wanted to get to that I couldn't on this one, but don't fret. The shorter ones will be featured in the second video. You know, the ones without as much description and stuff. Some people just sent me some great designs, and I'd love to talk about them. So, thank you guys for watching, and peace, I guess. Farewell. Bye bye. Wheel of Fortune, she's able to read. Wheel of Fortune, she is able to read into people's minds and know their fortune, but she. Oh, Jesus, fuck me in the dick hole.